What's up folks? Welcome to the second episode of Synchron Science. Before we begin, if you haven't yet watched the first episode, I highly suggest doing so. The video will be linked in the info cards and in the description. Also, here's the usual reminder to subscribe and like the video, it helps out a lot. Today, we're gonna go over a few basic lines of play to get you used to what you're looking for in this deck. Here's the build I'm using currently. I'm not gonna go in depth into deck building in this video. Check out the previous episode if you're looking for that. Before we get to the combos, I'd like to remind everyone that Synchron is a very free-flowing deck, and it's generally not a good idea to be stuck in specific lines of play when you duel. Instead, use these combos as a baseline to help you understand the deck. After you've watched these, go to solo mode in Master Duel and try to make up your own plays as you practice. Towards the later part of the video, we will start going over more obscure lines, and also playing around popular hand traps. Some of those might be unknown even to more experienced Synchron players, so definitely stick around. As always, the deck list will be written in the video description, as well as timestamps. This video is focused on playing Synchron as optimally as possible, so we won't be using cards like Quasar, Blazar or Majestic Stardust Dragon. The reasons why, I've discussed in part 1 of this series. Lastly, all of the following duels will be combo exhibitions. If you want to check out real diamond ranked games with Synchron, I've also left links to a couple of my other videos that have those in the description. Now, let's get started. First, let's see a hand where we have access to Doppelwarrior. As I mentioned in the previous episode, you'll almost always want to start with Dawnwalker if you have it. Remember, when you have Doppelwarrior in hand, don't summon it before Speeder resolves. Always keep it in hand until after you've confirmed there is no Nibiru. While Synchron has a ton of variability when it comes to what plays you make, as you gain experience you will start to recognize patterns, and know when to go for them. Celestial Shaman into Cupid Pitch into Metal Marcher is one of such patterns. Our eventual goal is to end the turn with 3 to 4 interruptions ideally, as well as making Omega to take out one of the opponent's cards. The path to optimizing this is to make sure you draw as many cards as possible with Hyper Librarian on your way to that goal. The absurd advantage generated by Hyper Librarian, drawing into additional hand traps and follow-up, is what sets Synchron apart from other powerful combo decks, as it tends to guarantee a victory even if the opponent has powerful board-breaking cards like Forbidden Droplets or Lava Golem. Now, let's look at a hand where we don't get Doppelwarrior. Our Dawnwalker gets hit by Ash Blossom, and we're left with just Speeder's effect on its own. For this scenario, let's assume we never manage to get access to Doppelwarrior at all. Although you will see that is very unlikely, and we do end up with a couple of them by the end. Because we have no Doppel, we will prioritize going for a Yazi line, destroying it with Baronne to bring out Mare Mare. From here, you can see how the rest of the turn unfolds. Remember, this entire play is based on the assumption we never got to any copy of Doppelwarrior. Okay, let's start looking at some more obscure lines that you may never have seen before. Because of the way Master Duel works, if the opponent's field lights up the first time you put a monster on the board, and it hadn't been lit before when you activated any sort of other effect, you will know they're almost certainly holding Valor or Impermanence. Here's a play you can do to protect your speeder before committing to it. If they Valor or Impermanence at any point before you make Baronne, simply tribute the monster that got negated for Stardust Synchron, and go into speeder with it. Excel Synchron sends his cost, so that part can never be stopped. At the end of this play, since we spent Baronne's negation, we will go for a different line than usual to bounce her back and remake her at the start of the opponent's turn, to get our negation again. Here's another way you have to protect Speeder's effect, using different cards. In this case, it was a Nibiru. Nibiru is not nearly as bad as Valor or Impermanence, so we actually didn't even need the protection for this duel, as Synchron can very easily just keep playing through a Nibiru effect. If you want to see how, check out one of the duels in the previous episode of Synchron Science. We're gonna go for the Baronne refresh play again at the end here. To end with, here's yet another line for protecting your speeder. This is the simplest one, as it only requires any way to put Junk Synchron and Doppelwarrior on the field. Do be aware though that making Herald early will limit what you can do for the rest of the turn a bit, if you don't spend it to negate a hand trap. Hopefully this gives you a more broad understanding of Synchron. As I said, this can be a very complicated deck to play optimally, so the best thing you can do is practice a lot on your own until you start seeing the lines yourself. That's it for now, see you champs next time.